Winters at the North Pole are long, dark, and very cold. To pass the time, the elves enjoy telling stories around the fire in the evening. This is one of their favorites. It's called A Tale of Farts and Goblins.
Welcome. My name is Mary, but here at the North Pole, the elves all call me Mama Claus. Christmas is a celebration of joy, but it is only one day a year. Santa and I believe in happiness 365 days a year, and that rubs off on the toys we make. You see, it's all about the elf crews. They're the backbone of everything we do. We work hard, but we have fun, and there is always a running gag. One year it was knock-knock jokes, puns, funny face contests. I've seen it all. But this year, 2020, it was all about fart noises. They were everywhere, the dining room, the work hall, and once we started wearing COVID masks, you couldn't even tell who was doing it. One night, George and Morty Elf held the North Pole Fart Noise Championship. They wanted to see who could make the loudest, longest fart noise. Oh, but I had to put a stop to it, even before they awarded the Flatulence Cup. You see, their racket woke me up at 2 a.m.
If Mama Claus doesn't get a full 8 hours, she loses her jolly.
You know how to make a fart sound, don't you? You just put your lips together.
Mama Claus always struggled when it came to reproducing the sound of flatulence.
Well, someone taught that to the elves. No one has publicly confessed, but whoever it is, I hope they regret it. Really, really regret it.
In fact, the person in question does not regret it. Not at all.
Last month, I was working with the elf gift wrap crew. We need a stockpile of bows before Christmas. Red to the right, green to the left, all things metallic right down the middle. Well, at the end of the day, Santa stopped by the workroom. You know how he is. Big guy, fills the doorway. He put his hands on his hips and he said, "Ho, ho, ho, you've done a good job," which was followed by a loud, "Really, Santa?" Then out from behind him popped, oh, you guessed it, George and Morty Elf. Those boys, they are always up to something. Now, everyone thought it was funny. Everyone but Santa, that is. He was not amused.
In fact, Santa was quite amused, but thought it best to not encourage the young elves in behavior his wife found distasteful. One of the smartest decisions he's made since the whole naughty, nice list thing.
The fastest growing division at the North Pole is our elf tech teams. Oh, they work on all our most advanced toys. So much has changed since I was a girl. Today, everything requires a battery. And that's why we have a storage room devoted just to batteries. Well, a few weeks ago, I went to check on our supply. And the stockpile was completely drained. Nothing left but smoking rubble. Oh my, this is a catastrophe, and so close to Christmas. There's only one thing that could cause this: goblins. Now, the goblins think of the Christmas castle kind of like it was a candy store, which it sort of is, except goblins don't like candy, just batteries. I know, go figure. But we've caught them sneaking through the hallways after pilfering some Duracells or borrowing some Ever-Readies, and we just had to shoo them right out into the snow. Oh, but one Christmas Eve, the Goblin King himself stole all the batteries right out of Santa's bag. Toys were delivered without their batteries. That just burns my sugar cookies. I mean, that's just wrong. We should never do that.
Let's give Mama Claus a moment to collect herself.
My goodness, that's just, how could we forget that? So, well, 2020 2020 has been a particularly bad year for goblins here at the North Pole. And they're interested in more than just batteries. Goblins are attracted to certain sounds, like the noises some toys make, and, well, farts. Oh, we found this last one out the hard way. One cold night, I made a big batch of chili, lots of beans. Everyone loved it. Santa and the elves all had second helpings. Well, as the evening progressed, the beans began to affect us, as beans sometimes do. And to our surprise, a whole troop of goblins just wandered right into the dining room, uninvited and unannounced. They'd heard some toots and wanted to investigate the sound. Well, one thing led to another. There was a big food fight. And the next morning, I had to scrub chili off the ceiling. No one wants to do that again. No one.
I have it on good authority that George and Morty Elf would like nothing more than to fling chili on the walls, ceiling, and each other until the reindeer come home.
So after that, Santa and I took a lot of precautions and goblin-proofed the entire Christmas castle. That helped everyone relax. To celebrate, the elf baking crew and I decided to whip up some delicious treats. Chocolate chip cookies, peanut butter blossoms, snickerdoodles. Oh, we were up to our ears in cookies. I was at my mixer working on a new recipe when I glanced out the window. And there he was. The Goblin King was pacing back and forth outside, muttering and waving his hands around. Well, apparently he tried to break into our battery storage and couldn't. Thank goodness, our goblin proofing really did work. Just then, the Goblin King swiveled his head around and glared right at me, his bright purple eyes locked on mine. Well, I'm Mama Claus, and I can deal with 100 elves making fart sounds and reindeer with giant egos because somebody wrote a song about them. So one raggedy old Goblin King is not going to scare me. I just rolled my eyes and went back to my baking. But the Goblin King was persistent. He just moved to another window. He was so angry that his whole body inflated like a balloon, and then he roared.
Well, goblins don't roar, exactly. The sound is kind of a cross between a bobcat's snarl and an elephant's trumpet.
I looked him square in the eyes, and I said, is that all you've got?
It's possible that taunting the Goblin King was not the smartest thing Mama Claus ever did.
He went crazy, swelling and increasing in size until he filled the window. His eyes went from purple to fuchsia, and he made the most awful rackets. Oh my! I just didn't know what to do, and I didn't realize it, but all the elves had gathered around me. Just when things looked dicey, George and Morty Elf put their hands to their mouth and... Well, before long, the kitchen crew all joined in. It was a chorus of fart noises, high and low ones, long and short. A symphony of flatulence.
George and Morty Elf claim it was the biggest, loudest, longest fart noise ever recorded, and that they firmly believed they set the world fart noise record.
The Goblin King just couldn't handle it. Elves laughing at him, fart noises, it was all too much. His arms flapped and his legs kicked. He was so furious that he just kept expanding, doubling and tripling in size until eventually he just burst. Poof! Pieces of him scattered all over the North Pole. But don't worry about the Goblin King. He'll be fine. It is going to take him a little while to put himself back together again. George and Morty Elf maintain that if he just cut loose with a big old fart, oh, the Goblin King would still be in one piece today. Those two, oh my, but they're North Pole heroes now. They formed a club called A.F.F.E.N.P.O.O.P.
Affenpoop is an acronym for the Association of Fart and Flatulence Enthusiasts, North Pole Organization of Optimized Participation. or the A.F.F.E.N.P.O.O.P for short.
Yesterday, they wrote the Guinness Book of World Records. They're confident that they're going to be included in the next edition. Oh, but that's not all. No, they called the Olympic Committee. You see, they feel that a fart noise competition would be a wonderful addition to the 2022 Winter Games in Beijing. Oh, those boys, but George and Morty Elf are always up to something.
That wraps up the tale of farts and goblins. But Mama Claus has a few more things to say. That woman is a talker.
Here are 3 things that I want you to remember. 1, work hard, but have fun, just like the elves. 2, don't be like the Goblin King. He let his temper get the better of him. And 3, noisy toys and fart sounds really do attract goblins, and it's not just at the North Pole. Ask your parents about goblin sightings in your neighborhood. They can tell you when it's safe to make a racket, but never at 2 a.m. I'm so glad you stopped by to see me. I'd love it if you'd send me an email. My address is mrs.maryclaus@outlook.com, and Mary is spelled M-E-R-R-Y. From all of us here at the North Pole, I wish you a very Merry Christmas.